being in the wrong spaces, and ultimately it did affect her. She does continue to actually speak about her life during these events that she goes to with children in children's schools, like high schools, where she talks to students. And she said that sometimes she regrets blaming her mistakes on peer pressure, because ultimately no, she actually did blame it on peer pressure, not she regrets blaming it on peer pressure, but she actually does regret the things that she did and blames on peer pressure, because she says anyone who's holding you back from walking in your full potential of who you're supposed to be and who God is calling you to be, that's not a real friend. She said that most people who actually are mbogi usually are the problem. If your friends smoke weed, you're probably gonna end up smoking weed. If your friends are always drinking, you're probably gonna drink. If your friends are always are all slay queens, you're probably gonna find yourself having a sugar daddy as well. Like, these things are pretty much right on the nose. Birds of a feather flock together. It's right there. But at the same time, people never really take into account who you're hanging out with. Because at first, you're just hanging out. Then y'all start this funny thing you do. Then it continues on and becomes something else, and then something else, and then something else. Yes, peer pressure is a big issue, especially when you're young and you have no direction. You're trying to figure yourself out. You just end up being in this spot with random people. Like, how do people even become friends? You know what I'm saying? There's so many ways that you end up being with friends with people who are probably not the best for you. But ultimately, you need to make a decision and quit. And I think that's what she says. She says that music was influencing, her habits were influencing the music. And she says, I was clearly publicly immoral and it wasn't a secret. My music was promoting promiscuity, drugs, and alcohol. And she stopped doing it. She said she's afraid that a lot more younger people are getting into drugs. She got into it at 19, but others are getting in younger. And it's true. We've been seeing the funny things that people are doing. I'm not going to mention them here because a child could be watching and they could have an idea. But there are so many ways which people are getting and consuming drugs, especially children. You don't see the bottles, but this kid is high. You're like, how did you get high? There's so many weird things. So be watchful, be mindful of what your children are doing as well. Try and guide them in the right way, and maybe they'll survive. Maybe, but it's become really messy. I think parenting is hard, honestly.
But it all trickles down to who you're surrounding yourself with. And, you know, you always hear that phrase, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. There's not a more accurate description of who you are as a person other than who is surrounding you. And I used to think, that's lame. I know who I am. What does it matter who my friends are? They're my friends. I love them. It doesn't matter if they do whatever they do. I know myself. I know who my friends are. But then over time, I kind of realized it is far easier to bring somebody into the dark than it is for you to bring them to the light. It is so much easier. And actually on social media, we've been seeing this, viral video of this pastor preaching, and he says, if you're counting 5 stupid people around you, you're counting wrong because you're the sixth. And it's so true. So be mindful and be intentional about being friends, especially at a young age.
Yeah.
You're like, they're cool. I know who I am. I know what's going on in my life. Obviously, I can't do what they do. It is true. You are who your friends are. Even you're like, my friends, yes, they cheat on your wives, but me, I know who I am. Trust me, nobody's looking at it like that. We're just like, you know what? Okay, you walk around like that. Who told you? You're not different. Maybe you do it in a different way, or maybe you're encouraging such behavior, which is
problematic.
Yeah, it's still problematic. So be mindful of who is around you and be mindful of who your friends are. Yeah, cut them off in 2023.
I saw a message which I cannot go past. It says, hi, Kathomi. Turi, I love you. This is Macau from Langata. I am loving the show. So I just read that message. Very cool. Thank you, Macau, for that interesting message. We appreciate you. Shout out to you.